Good morning, and welcome to the 10th annual Kilachand Keystone Symposium. My name is Carrie Preston. I'm the director of the Honors College, as well as a professor in the English department in Women's Gender and Sexuality Studies program. It's such a pleasure to welcome our amazing seniors, their mentors who have worked so hard with them, faculty, staff, family, friends, here in this room, which is so lovely and full for a Saturday morning, as well as joining us on live stream. At Kilachand events, I typically offer a land acknowledgement. And the typicality of this act is a concern to me because land acknowledgements can be mere habit, a performance, even an offensive performance when they aren't backed by actual support. Our seniors in the room might not know that we started this ritual when they were first-year students. Back then, it felt radical, it felt sort of brave, and within even a year, a land acknowledgement ritual began to feel mundane and habitual. We questioned why we were speaking them, if they had no impact, and if they were not backed by actual work to change the lives of Indigenous Americans. We began largely through the efforts of our fantastic postdoc, Travis Franks, to develop a relationship with the Massachusetts tribe. And when their representative, Elizabeth Solomon, came to our day of full and radical participation in March, she pointed to the value of land acknowledgements and renaming efforts because they were part of an educational process. And so, as an educator engaged with you all in learning, I continue to give land acknowledgements with full recognition of the inadequacy of the ritual, but also recognizing that at many educational institutions, a land acknowledgement is still far from habitual. It's either unknown or prohibited. And so I acknowledge the original and continuing displaced stewards of this land, the Massachusetts people, without imagining that this acknowledgement could ever be enough. Again, thank you for joining us this spring morning to honor the hard work, creativity, and innovation of our Kilachand seniors, and to honor the potential and power of student research more generally. Our symposium is the culmination of the Senior Keystone Project, which is also the final phase of Kilachand's interdisciplinary curriculum. The Keystone Project is a sustained work of research, scholarship, creativity, and/or invention in a field or fields chosen by the students with the tremendous help of their faculty mentors. The brief presentations you will see today can only show you a tiny little bit of the work that has gone into these projects across the year, and in many cases, almost 2 years. Our senior committee chose the title, A Constellation of Research, for today's event. And the wonderful promotional materials created by our own Spencer Morgan feature the 10-star constellation Cygnus, in honor of the fact that this is Kilachand's 10th symposium. The constellations emphasize the power of human beings, this stargazing species, and the creativity of finding shapes in the stars and telling stories about them. The Cygnus constellation is associated with many myths, but the one I'm attached to is the story of Cygnus as the resting place of Orpheus, ancient Greek musician, poet, and dreamer, who so loved Eurydice that he journeyed into the underworld to recover his beloved. I'm gonna really nerd out here, Spencer, in your honor. Hades, king of the underworld, took pity on him and allowed Eurydice to follow him back, as long as Orpheus never looked back at his beloved. He made it to the moment sunlight from the land of the living fell on him, and he turned back, just to share his sunlit joy with Eurydice, who was, of course, whisked away in that moment. After his death, Orpheus was turned into the swan and placed in the sky next to his lyre, the neighboring constellation Lyra. So the obvious lesson is don't look back. Maybe don't look back to the obvious challenges of the past 4 years. The fact that this senior class was sent home during spring break, their second semester of freshman year, and nothing has really been the same since. The lesson of don't look back has been told in many ways throughout history. There's Orpheus, Lot's wife, the teenage horror film where the young thing that looks back is always the first one to die. And yet, as seniors, it is impossible not to be looking back at this moment. It's impossible not to be doing some reflection. For one thing, we make you do it in your senior reflection for senior seminar. Don't even get me started on dialogic grading and the metacognitive act of reflection. But let's follow the implicit guidance of our Keystone Committee and look up to the constellations, where we realize that Orpheus, partially for having looked back, got a place in the stars. There are many people to thank for making today possible. First, the faculty mentors who have devoted so much time and energy to supporting the research and creativity of our students. This work is above and beyond their teaching responsibilities, and it can be both taxing and rewarding for faculty and students alike. So thank you. I also want to thank our amazing Kilachand team, Megan Kagstrom, Amanda Shallion, and Rick Tonetti, who coordinate this event and work very closely with our symposium organizing committee. Other members of the Kilachand staff are here to support our students, as always. Professors and associate directors Dor and Davidson, advisors Kyle, Dominique, Elijah, senior seminar faculty Sam Cook, Amy Fish, John Evren, and Danielle Dries, and many others. We are deeply grateful to the Symposium Organizing Committee, a group of dedicated students who were planning this event, making the gorgeous posters, inspiring my thoughts on Orpheus, as well as finishing their Keystone projects and preparing their presentations for today. The committee was chaired by the amazing duo Aidan Cliff and Charlie McMahon, and the members of the Keystone Committee include Katie Cathcart, Ratva Bhatt, Spencer Morgan, Jenny Motzer, and Nika Phoebe Kozlov. Thank you so much to you. Now have a wonderful day. Enjoy the presentations, and thanks for being here to support our seniors. So we'll take a few moments to transition. Poster presentation, the brief presentations will take place, and then we'll move out into the room where you can enjoy some more refreshments and coffee and see the posters for poster session 1.